Alright guys, it is a Sunday afternoon, but oddly enough, I mean Charlotte's awake, but Shelby and David are asleep upstairs. They're taking a little Sunday afternoon nap by themselves. So the last couple of weeks, we live in a 1900, that's the year our house was built, 1900 farmhouse here on our like a little over acre-and-a-half homestead. And well, mice are just part of life. You can't always, you just gotta deal with it. So we've caught quite a few here lately, which is kind of surprising. Usually we don't catch them in the summer. But I think because our cats are still little, we have them locked up at night, so they're not hunting the mice during the night, during like optimal hours. And so we've caught quite a few here in the house here the last couple of weeks. And one of the first indicators that I knew we needed to set more traps was I saw mouse poop in my pantry. I haven't seen evidence of them actually eating on anything in the pantry. Everything I'm pulling out, nothing looks like it's been nibbled on thus far. So I guess that's good news. I do keep nearly everything in glass jars, as you can see, but it is time to get this thing cleaned out so we can better organize it, see what we've got left, and get it set up for putting all of this year's canning stuff in and just get it all cleaned out good. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So it looks like the thing, I keep most of my stuff in glass jars, like I said. It seems like mostly they were after the napkins, probably to make a little nest somewhere. So that's fun, but not totally unexpected. We do have, I know where they come in. It's not, there's this little hole right there. And so that's kind of their home sometimes. So we use these glue traps. We just set them down there and we usually catch quite a few. But I just have to take them up during the day so Charlotte doesn't trap herself. So, all right. I just gotta get that part cleared out and all the bottom, and then we can start wiping it all down. That looks about 10 times better. It is nice and wiped down clean. I'm gonna clean out the floor part now because that is still a mess. But I noticed this shelf has always been a little wobbly because it's the only one of these two David didn't screw in these boards. But I managed to break that at some point. So that's a little wobbly. So I have to It is now all cleaned out and clean and ready for me to start putting things back in. So I really like the way my pantry flows, so I'm going to put it all back pretty much the same way. So on the very top shelf, I usually do some of my canned goods. So some canned green beans, applesauce, apple butter, jams, jellies, those sorts of things. Things that we don't have to pull down super often. I'm not reaching for them all the time because usually I pull one down and then it goes in the fridge or whatever. Green beans not so much, but we rotate between canned green beans and green beans from the freezer, so that gets them up there and out of the way. Second to top shelf, I do a whole bunch of bone broth because I use bone broth multiple times a week between potatoes and rice and soups and gravies and all sorts of things. And then down here I do all of like your pantry type foods, so cereals, noodles, nuts, that sort of stuff, peanut butter, any of that. And then this, I usually have, what do I even have on this? What did we have before? And then this next to bottom shelf is my baking shelf pretty much. So I put all my flours, so all-purpose flour, my cane sugar, brown sugar, any of that stuff, and then my containers of just like an assortment of gluten-free flours and crackers for David and Shelby. And so I put all that stuff there. And then bottom shelf has butcher paper, food saver bags, and then potatoes and stuff. And usually I throw onions up here too because you don't want your onions right next to your potatoes. So yeah, now we're gonna get to putting it all back in. So it looks like my bone broth stash is actually getting a little bit low. So I can't remember if I have any other bone broth stash anywhere. So we might have to be making bone broth here pretty soon because that will only last me a little while. So I got my bone broth up there and I am trying to decide, these are this year's beans, these are last year's beans, and these are from, they're pickles from a long time ago. And I haven't eaten them because when I made them, I used pickling vinegar and didn't realize that that was actually a vinegar brine. So I like salted the salted vinegar. And so I'm just mildly scared to eat them because they're going to be so salty and probably soft at this point. So I'll probably toss that one to the pigs. This applesauce, I might actually put one on the lower level because we are going to be going to Yellowstone here in just a few weeks. And so that is going to be a really fun trip and we'll probably take some applesauce with us. And that is all the applesauce that we have left. So each fall we do a whole bunch of applesauce. So we have 3 big ones left, and then just those 2. We have one of these in the fridge right now, and 2 things of apple butter. Oh, 3 things. And that looks like all we've got left. And one jar of crispy apples from the pantry, and 2 back there. So not a lot. We've nearly gone through it all, and like we got a ton of apples. There is an applesauce recipe that I can link down below for you of how we do it with our KitchenAid mixer, and it was a lot of apples, guys. So the fact that we only have that much left, like, I'm so happy we did it all because we've been able to have fresh applesauce this whole time. But just thinking about, oh my gosh, I gotta do it all again here pretty soon. When we get back from Yellowstone, it's probably gonna be time to make applesauce all over again. Okay. We'll probably take one of my big ones, take a cinnamon applesauce. So I'm gonna stick this back here for now, so that way I don't have to climb up to the back of the pantry. And I might actually, I might throw them all in there. So we'll see. Okay. I need to clean these off because they're just a little funky looking. These are this year's beans. Those can go up on the top shelf, so we won't need them for a while. So this I wanted to pause and tell you about. This is some black raspberry jam I made from the vine here in the back of our house, and it turned out really good. I only have a little bit of it because you have to like push the jam through a fine mesh strainer, and blackberries have a lot, or raspberries have a lot of seeds just like blackberries do too, but it is really good. So homegrown, home picked, home canned. the doggy treats together. What are you doing? The Every Household Bag of Bags, part 1. Where'd part 2 go? Oh, there it is. Bag of Bags, part 2.
Oh, there's 3.
We don't have a part. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
This is just packing peanuts that we got in a box. These are the cool ones where like if you put them in water they dissolve, so they're compostable. Maybe I should just put them outside in our compost pile. That would be wise. I feel like I'm wasting them if I just throw them out. But they do compost, so I could literally just put them in our compost pile.
Or
Should I?
pigs.
I don't think the piggies would want to eat them. I think we could compost them though. I don't know. So this is a bag of packing stuff. And a random half-egg carton. So back in it goes for now. And 1 roll of paper towels left. And
Some toilet paper.
huh?
And some toilet paper.
It's in the toilet paper is in the laundry room. Oh, more doggy treats. Should we put that in the jar or just leave it in the bag?
Then there was so much more to
Okay. I'll put these in the jar too. Usually they just stay in the bag. So we give her one of these when we like leave the house. They're the dental shoes. For the sake of making everything look nice since we're doing this. I accidentally ended up with a whole bunch of cornmeal. I had placed an Azure standard order and thought that it was gonna come in time for friends coming. I was planning on like brisket and cornbread and stuff, and so I thought it was all out of cornmeal. And so I put it in my Azure standard pickup order. I thought that like this little bit was all that I had left. And so I put it in there, but then that order didn't come in time. So then I bought a bag of cornmeal at the grocery store. And then I ended up not making cornbread. And then, so I have a bag of cornmeal. I got my Azure standard bag of cornmeal. And I went to go put it away and then realized that I had a whole entire canister full of cornmeal in the back of my pantry. So I had a massive amount of cornmeal. And then last night, I was making fried pickles and I wanted to add a little bit of cornmeal to the batter. And I dropped the whole canister on the floor. And then David broke the canister washing it. So it is organized now and cleaned out and free of mouse poop, so that is a plus. So yeah, we've got some canned goods up there. Got lots more space there in the back since I moved the last of the applesauce. We've got bone broth here. I'm gonna have to make another batch of that here pretty soon. And then pantry staples, baking goods, and potatoes, and freezing food storage stuff. So yeah. And then these down here are my grain buckets. So I have some einkorn grain, some winter wheat, and oats, and cornmeal, and that sort of stuff, and a little bit of rice. So yeah, thanks for cleaning with me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.